All right, welcome friends and family. I'm Dennis Cook here at Vitality Chiropractic, and this is my Vitamin A to Zinc series. This is episode 1, Vitamin A. So today we're going to talk about what is vitamin A, why do you need it, and how can you implement it into your diet and life. So, vitamin A is one of the fat-soluble vitamins. It is considered one of the true antioxidants. So you've got vitamin A, C, E, and selenium. So whenever you hear antioxidant, vitamin A and the ACEs are the true antioxidants. Now, why do you need vitamin A, or what would happen if you didn't have vitamin A? So vitamin A deficiency can cause this whole list here: dry eyes, night blindness, poor immune function, bumpy or crusty skin, poor sleep and circadian rhythm disruption, kidney stones, autoimmune disease, asthma, allergies, food intolerances, low sex hormones, and when extremely severe, irreversible blindness. So yes, vitamin A is very important. Now, you might have heard vitamin A and you might be thinking about carrots and beta carotene, but there's actually 2 types of vitamin A for practical purposes. So you have the retinol form, which is the bioactive form in our body, and therefore also the bioactive form that you would get from eating animal products. And then you have the carotenoids, which are actually pro-vitamin A compounds that are derived from plants. So, for example, the most famous one being beta carotene. The carotenoids are converted pretty efficiently, for the most part, into retinol in the body. However, that's a key point there. There does have to be conversion for us to actually use carotenoids or beta carotene as vitamin A in the body. So, there's a little issue with the presentation there, but that's okay. So retinol, the bioactive form, is most found in animals in the liver. That's where vitamin A is stored in the body. So beef liver, cod liver oil, they're really the best sources of retinol in the diet. However, eating things like whole fat dairy, egg yolks, and to a lesser extent, meats in general, these all contain the bioactive form retinol in those food sources, and they're essentially available, ready to go, ready to use in our body. On the other hand, sorry about this presentation issue, the carotenoids come from our vegetables and fruits, our plant-based foods, and they're typically found in foods that are red, orange, yellow, and green in color, okay? So the issue with any vitamin, mineral, it's always a question of absorption. Now, many things can hurt our ability to derive vitamin A from plant foods. So this is sort of the bad news for our plant-based community. So there's certain things that we can actually change, such as too much fiber or deficiencies in vitamin E, that would actually affect our ability to absorb and convert carotenoids into vitamin A. So some things are within our control. However, some things are out of our control. So let me minimize this screen here so that we can adjust that up. So certain things that are not in our control include, there we go, things such as toxic metals that are found in our diet from, synthetic fertilizers. They're found in a lot of our body care products. They're found in aerosols. They're found in environmental pollution. And these can be in our body. during disease states, we have certain toxic compounds that are sort of produced that affect our ability to convert carotenoids into retinol, parasites, hypothyroidism, and certain things like even genetics that we have absolutely no control of. So there's sort of some unknowns and then the absolute uncontrollables. So as a result, plant foods can usually meet the vitamin A requirement. Some foods are more reliable than others. So best practices, if you are more on the plant-based side, is consuming those colorful plants with traditional fats. So things like grass-fed butter, extra virgin olive oil, lard from animal fat. You want to cook or puree with these oils. You want to cook those plants. And consuming them with a meal rich in vitamin E. So some of the other fat-soluble vitamins are also critical for the conversion of vitamin A and the absorption of vitamin A. Vitamin A, a great sort of plant-based source, can be derived from palm oil, which I'll actually bring up at the end here and share an example product. This is not only a great source of vitamin A, but a great source of vitamin E. So you're kind of killing those two birds with one stone and ensuring better absorption. Now, you do want your palm oil to be unrefined, USDA organic, and ideally red palm oil. This is a great choice for cooking. It's got a versatile sort of flavor profile, and it has a high smoke point, so it's not going to oxidize easily. Otherwise, I personally like getting my vitamin E from the Natural Factors Whole Earth and Sea multivitamin. And they have that multivitamin for men, women of all ages. So dosing for vitamin A, the average intake is about 3,000 to 5,000 IU's international units, or about 900 to 1,500 micrograms, depending on what the label is showing you. And if you get about that much per day, it's going to be adequate or optimal for most people. In terms of implementing this into your diet, into your life, there's a few best practices. So one thing you could try and do if you wanted to be, supplement free, is try eating 4 to 8 ounces of liver, ideally beef liver, per week. If that's not your thing, you can also eat up to 3 whole eggs or egg yolks per day, up to 3 servings of full fat dairy per day, 3 to 4 cups of colorful vegetables per day, using grass-fed butter and sustainably harvested red palm oil, like we mentioned before. Now, the liver itself will meet the requirement. Otherwise, you want to do the rest of these things all together. For special diets, there are some special considerations. If you're on a low-fat diet, that's also one of the things that impacts your ability to convert vitamin A in your diet. So you can protect yourself, if you're on a low-fat diet, from inadequate vitamin A by tripling the targets in the previously mentioned bullet points. So up from the 3 to 5,000 IU, maybe tripling that. And vegans, if you're fully plant-based, would do well to get some red palm oil and use it as liberally as you can stand. In either case, it always makes sense to supplement if there are any signs of deficiency. We'll go back over that one more time at the end. So supplements, I really like cod liver oil. It's the best natural supplement. Any supplement that's providing that 3 to 5,000 IU per day is safe, or it could be like 10,000 IU twice per week. That will be totally safe. So I personally use the Garden of Life cod liver oil. It's Icelandic cod liver oil, and that one contains 1270 micrograms or 4,233 IU, so right in sort of in the middle of the sweet spot here. And I take that about 3 to 5 times per week because I'm also implementing a lot of these other strategies. So, you know, if there's a week where I do decide to eat beef liver, I may take the cod liver oil a little less. Supplements are always meant to fill the gaps. If you're plant-based, then you're going to do best, again, by incorporating red palm oil and maybe even, you know, ensuring that there's some beta carotene in your daily multivitamin, which is in the Whole Earth and Sea multivitamin, and that is a plant-based, you know, vegan-friendly multivitamin. Now, there's a lot of concern about vitamin A toxicity. People have heard about, like, they call it like the polar bear toxicity. I think there was like some survivalists who were trying to live off of polar bears. I think their plane crashed in Antarctica or something like that, and they got sick from vitamin A poisoning. That's a really rare occurrence, although it is possible. So to avoid toxicity, just don't exceed any of the previously mentioned doses. More is not necessarily better in terms of vitamin A, even though it is so critical to our health. And the other thing is to ensure the adequate intake of the other fat-soluble vitamins. So the fat-soluble vitamins, easy way to remember it is ADEK, A-D-E-K. Specifically, K2 is optimal. They kind of work in tandem together and they balance each other out. So increasing D, increasing A and K2 will actually increase your tolerance of vitamin A and lower the threshold or raise the threshold for toxicity. The Whole Earth and Sea, again, this multivitamin is a great starting point for achieving balance because it has a significant amount of all the fat-soluble vitamins. Now, always look out for signs of toxicity. If you're like me, we may have a tendency to get paranoid, but there are signs, okay? So just like there's signs of deficiency, there's signs of toxicity. So toxicity can cause poor bone health. You might not recognize that right away. Birth defects, or certain things you might not recognize. By the way, if you are pregnant, vitamin A in the retinol form is actually not recommended as a supplement, and probably you'd even want to taper back from things like eating beef liver. Eating things like eggs and whatnot is not a real concern. But subjectively, you may experience fatigue or objectively hair loss, upset stomach, nausea, vomiting, dry skin, peeling, cracked lips, headaches. So if this is kind of unexpected and you have incorporated, you know, more organs into your diet, cod liver, something like that, okay, then this is maybe something to be concerned about here. Dial it back, maybe consult a doctor if it's ongoing. But again, if you're following the previous recommendations, should not be a concern. Keeping the supplements within these limits described previously is best, but obviously, if you're working with a healthcare practitioner, then follow their advice. And they ought to be testing your status frequently to make sure that you're within the appropriate range, not deficient and not exceeding into toxic territory. So your key takeaways: consider cooking with red palm oil, eating beef liver occasionally, maybe once a week, maybe twice a week, maybe just a couple times a month. If tolerated, no food allergies. Include eggs, whole fat dairy, and grass-fed butter, such as Kerrygold butter, into your diet. Consider filling the gaps with cod liver oil, maybe 3 times a week to ensure that you have no deficiencies. And start, I would say anybody who's worked with me knows, I love this Whole Earth and Sea supplement. And so start there and ensure adequate balance of your fat-soluble vitamins. Okay, so real quick, I'll show you the red palm oil that I picked up today from Natural Grocers. So I've got it here. It's by Nativa, and it is unrefined USDA organic, so you can see the labels here. red palm oil. And again, rich, flavorful. It's, if you can see, high in vitamin A and vitamin E. No refrigeration is required. And yeah, I'm really excited about it. This particular brand is organic, fair trade. So if you're concerned about sort of the welfare of the farmers and those involved in the supply chain, they are a conscientious company. It's a habitat friendly. And the flavor is described as rich and buttery. So pretty awesome stuff. Some people have said they even like it on popcorn. So yeah, very, very cool. Vitamin A is super important. We want it for a robust immune system. For eye health is probably the #1 thing that most people think about it for if you have dry eyes, red eyes, issues with nighttime vision, vitamin A is the first place to look. But also, for men and women, for appropriate hormone levels, testosterone, vitamin A is a really critical nutrient that, as you can see, is available in the diet, but in places that you need to be intentional about deriving it. So hopefully this presentation helped clear that up. Sorry for some of the funky slides, but I appreciate your time and attention, and I look forward to questions. I will see you all next week, and we will be going into the B vitamins, starting with B1. All right, y'all. Take care.